And welcome back, little guys, welcome back to this new video, and this time with something a little more special, if you want it. Basically, we are showcasing today the next update of my mode, the Warren's Burrow of the Were. I gathered all of the feedback that I got, advice, critics and whatever, and put them together into this update, of course. Even if I didn't get so many feedback to to get many stuff to do about this update, but I have enough for it to release something. And especially I got a feedback through mail, which is a bit weird, but apparently the guy didn't want to appear on the forum or YouTube or whatever, doesn't have an account, who knows. And I got a huge feedback on that side, and one of that was a pretty nasty bug or glitch, or basically soft lock, where the player can get stuck inside the Hell Gladiator room if entered that room from the other side, and if he presses the switch to open the gate, because then the switch will just lock up, and if you get at the door, you will shut, close, in. Let's start with the first thing that I updated, modified, changed, or whatever, which is arrows, or I should say stick projectiles. Because yes, it was a nice feature, but it needed some update here and there. Because for example, arrows couldn't get stuck on actors that weren't shootable, like monsters, etc. Or if they get stuck on them, they will just they won't follow the actors, basically. But now, thanks to this thing, to this new code that I brought this up, arrows can get stuck on actors. As you can see, the arrow will remain on this little decoration that just broke up, and they will fall based on randomness, etc. Also, another thing that of course needed to be added was the fact that arrows, when attached on moving walls, they will just remain floating forever, because there was no code to account for that. But now, finally, we fixed that. It has been a nightmare. Trust me, it has been a fucking nightmare to do this. And it's not even really completed, but for my sanity, I will leave it like this for now. Anyhow, as you can see, I filled this wall up with arrows, and now, if I lower the sector, as you can see, all the arrows follow the wall, basically as it should be. And this is a huge fix. Another thing, of course, is that arrows can now, also that get stuck on floors, walls, etc., they can get stuck even on ceilings. Because it was too weird that arrows couldn't get stuck on ceilings, but on everything else, yes. So now, finally, we have arrows, chandeliers, basically. You can always get the arrows back, even if stuck on ceiling, if you can get up there, of course. And not only that, but arrows can get stuck on 3D floors too now. And of course, they will move together with them. As you can see, they can move with 3D floors now. And like I said, they can get stuck on every wall, so it means even on doors. But the maximum speed that the door can have before the arrows just stop to get stuck on the wall is 128, which is basically the standard thing, the turbo standard movement of the door. So you can see, of course, when the door gets on top of that, the arrows will just hit the ceiling and they will just drop, because we don't want arrows to get outside of the map, right? There you go. Anyhow, they are moving. Of course, the door is not working anymore because of how I built this stupid map, but they are working. Now, unfortunately, like I said, it's not completed, but I couldn't find a way, or better, I found a way to get arrows to get stuck on 3D middle textures, but it was a real mess. And so I decided to discard it, because otherwise it would completely destroyed all of the other code that I made to make these other things work. So for now, unfortunately, no mid texture stack arrows. Although, now we have arrows that can get stuck, of course, even of moving textures, and they will move accordingly with the texture. As you can see, the arrow over there is moving. And when hit a wall or the ceiling, it will just drop again. Boom. There you go. That's another really cool feature that I'm really glad that they got it right. I'm really happy about it. And of course, that's a diagonal wall, and it also works, of course, on normal walls, etc. etc. It works on every wall. It should work on every wall, of course. Always use a conditional thing, because we never know what happens. And that's it about the arrows. Of course, it works with also darts, as you can see. And it will work also with bolts. Oops, I woke up people. As you can see. With bolts, it's a bit more difficult, unfortunately, because of how big the hitbox is, as you can see. They will not always get stuck on moving textures. I don't really know why, but I guess it's pretty fair, considering it wasn't a feature before. So we'll just keep it like that. Even because it can just be a thing that not always a bolt will get stuck on walls or whatever, because it, too big or whatever. And you're annoying. Not only that, but now bolts finally correctly give people. Because that was a feature, but apparently I fucked it up when I added more code to it. So now it will always give people when a bolt kill one. In this case, we have a little zombie here, which is usually pretty resistant, to death. Zombies can get back up from the dead unless you give them or use slash damage. So use an X or fire or whatever. So in this case, boom, no more zombies around. Another fix was the fiery arrow. So let me get a torch. Oh. I cannot. Can I please? Okay, wait. Let me light the torch up. Here you go. Now, if you burn a zombie, there's a chance, of course, for him to respawn like an incinerated corpse. Hopefully this will happen. Otherwise I will have to summon more zombies here. Here you go. Another bug that has been fixed is the fact that arrows, when killing incinerated corpses and so leaving the ashes, whatever, the arrow will just remain stuck into the air. But finally, the arrow just go back to the floor, as well as the incinerated corpse. Another bug fix, which was a huge crash here, was when approaching a non-lit cauldron, when you have when you're changing weapon. Now it's finally fixed. No more crash, because the unlit cauldron is always checking for the player's weapon in his hands, but when switching weapons, there's this little gap where the player has no weapon in his hands and he will crash the game, of course. So I added that check to fix that. Another huge thing that I added, because of the comment that I got on the Doom World forum, is the setting to toggle on and off the high resolution texture from the liquid texture pack. So basically now, if you access your settings in your full options menu, in the liquid FX, liquid texture pack options, I added this little setting here, enhance liquid textures on and off. If you turn this off, you will get vanilla textures. Of course, this is not vanilla texture at all. This is just my potion thing. Nor these fours are really vanilla. I changed it with because I already have these textures for when I made my other modes, so I just added into this one. And you can just turn it on again if needed or if you wanted. And here we go, with just a setting. Another thing that I added, as you can see from my top right corner, is the directly hour number on top of the watch, of the day-night watch. Again, this is also, toggable on and off. If you go on your day-night clock settings, you can go to show time hour and show or not, just to help you out with calculating the time, because since we have NPCs that transform or do something when a certain hour is reached, this can be really, really useful sometimes. But just to keep it fair, I kept this option only for difficulty settings that are farmer or lower. I mean, it's this one. Only basically Heard Me Plenty or lower. If you're playing Mercenary, which is basically Ultraviolence or Holy Knight, you won't be able to change that. And you won't have your time printed on. I also fixed, of course, the Witch. She will correctly go back to her alcove when the time has come for her to go there. So basically at day. And I decided to switch the name of the witch with the Striga. So we won't have a witch anymore, but we will have directly a Striga this time, because it's much more fitting. After my consoling with directly a person from East Europe, I decided to call this little prick Striga. It was much more fitting. You're fucking annoying. There you go. And to call instead the Striga from Hellforged as Blood Witch. There you go. I also, of course, added, not added, but changed a lot of stuff about monsters, but just little quickery, like for example monsters' health, monster speed, monsters especially melee range, because it really was too high, and it was probably one of the cause of the fact that the mod could be a bit too difficult for most people out there. So I toned it down a bit, not anything, not really something drastic, but for example, for the Archfiend, which is one of the more infamous thing around here, as you can see, its melee range, it's much smaller now, so you can easily dodge him when you are in a small room with him around. Also, you can probably see that his speed has been nerfed a bit. And I guess that's it. There are a couple of small changes here and there, but nothing drastic like this one that I have already showed you. I hope you can enjoy the thing. You can find the download link always down below, always on the forum or whatever. And that's it. I hope you will enjoy your time playing this thing. Bye.